Welcome to shit.
This is a good start already.
Welcome to Of Dice and Den presents A Fistful of Dice, a Deadlands campaign. I am Jeff, the Marshal.
Hey, Marshall.
Hi. And who are you?
I'm Dan. I play Bartholomew Champsworth of the Atlanta Champsworths.
And with you?
Fievel sneezing under the table.
Hi, Fievel. You're my... Fievel will be playing the role of Horace. The cousin tonight.
Just horking it up.
Yep.
Jesus, easy chihuahua.
I'm Ari.
Good job.
I'm playing Franck Verneau, the French-Mexican trapper.
I am Kimberly. I play Allie Taylor, purveyor of elixirs and seeker of the youth.
She's a seeker of youth.
I was going to say seeker of the elixir of youth, but I realized I already said elixirs within the last 4 seconds, and I'm like, well...
So she's just seeking youth now, guys.
Well, that's actually... I've got that...
Just 2 youths.
That's her thing. She's
seeking 2 youths.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Not everybody gets that reference from 1990.
2 youths.
You know, I was very tempted to do a special plot for Allie, which kind of drives her towards the alchemy route. So. Anyway, who else?
And also, hey gang, my name is Josh. I play Percy Clemens, aka Clem, a deserter from the Confederate Army who is now harrowed, or aka undead.
Yes.
Whoop whoop.
So, I went back and listened to all the episodes that have been released thus far.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. And Clem has switched sides twice now. So he's a deserter. You know, all he needs to do is like desert from the French Foreign Legion or the Navoo Legion, and you know we're good to go.
I know. That's
So-
why I didn't want to give her another treat.
Originally,
Sorry,
like the whole
up the
plan
house.
has always been deserting from the Confederate Army, but I almost love it more that he's
It's part of your-
deserted from
part of your
every
affectation,
army.
right?
I'm trying to remember where I wrote it down, but I have it in canon written somewhere that Allie is actually like obsessed with eternal youth. And that's like, I don't know where I wrote it down and it's driving me nuts.
Oh man, so the little Franken dude we killed last episode would have been like
Right?
in
Step in the direction.
Allie's
Yeah, except I
wheelhouse.
wasn't thinking about it back then.
Speaking of,
Who would like an extra white chip to tell us what happened last time?
does anyone else want to try?
Nope.
Nope.
It's just a white chip.
No.
It's not worth trying to remember.
not worth memory. So we made it. We thought we were going to make it to Salt Lake, but we didn't. We made it to a different town. What was the name of the town? I don't remember that.
Purdy.
Purdy. That's right, because I said it was like my face, because I have that as a boon.
That is why, sorry to interject, that is why my audio file is named Purdy. I thought I was just being a smartass and named it Purdy, like, pretty little file.
Anybody who listens to this podcast and doesn't believe that we are all on some level at smart aleck assholes has not been paying attention.
Not even a little
Right,
bit.
so I remember that, like, we both individual, like, us, and then...
Right. We were at Purdy, and we were talking to this guy trying to get a job, and they was like, hey, you should check out this house. And then while we're talking to him,
Clem and his buddy.
the undead shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm not dead anymore. We're like, shut the fuck up.
So I remember, like, Clem was with his friend guy,
Right, he
and the
spent some
friend
time.
guy was like, there's some shit going down here, maybe you should check it out.
Yeah, and so then we went into the house. The sheriffs and deputies had gone to the house and never returned. We went into the house. We fought some hands. None of them were the same person's hand. And then we ended up going down into a secret lab where we fought a scientist and his Frankenstein.
And I like one-shotted him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you did.
Oh, that was epic.
And then we buried the Frankenstein. Did we do anything after that?
I remember
They
like, we
all
went
showed
out
up.
and
To the
we
town
told them like
a
the
little bit?
town what had happened and that they were like, hey, you want to stay? And
Oh, that's
And
right.
we
They wanted
said
to ask,
no.
They asked us to be the sheriff, and we were like, no.
Yeah, we were like, nah.
We got. I got to go out. Someone's expecting me in Deseret.
I just want to get to Deseret to sell shit.
Yeah. So we said no, thank you.
Yep.
Peace.
And
So-
we told Clem how good of a friend he is. Did we leave town or did we stay in town?
You're,
Or was that
in,
decided?
We had
you're in
left-
town. You were
just
given
yet.
a free night at the hotel.
Right.
And some sketchy shit happened at the
So give me half a white
railroad.
chip, eh?
Break it into threes.
Reunited, and it feels so good. The posse has come together to defeat the abomination known as Maxwell, assistant to the enigmatic Dr. Cecil Sawyer, and received a complimentary night's stay at the local hotel for their troubles. As a new day breaks, will our heroes ever make it to Salt Lake City? Find out now on ODND Presents A Fistful of Dice.
Okay, so we're at the hotel.
Okay, cool. So there is I do have some rule apologies that I have
Uh-oh.
to make.
Uh-oh. You guys ready back home listening to this wonderful game?
Brace
Yeah.
yourselves.
So everybody who was feverishly typing an email to complain about my interpretation of the rules, you can delete it. So
ODNDpod@gmail.com.
yes. Or follow us on Twitter at ODNDpod.
CO Jeff.
Tweet those rules.
That's spelled GEOFF for the correct way.
Right, if you want to make sure he gets it, your
Yes.
complaint.
So remember way back the Husker battle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your size is 6 and its size was 8.
Yikes.
And
Okay.
and how you calculate whether or not something is a wound is it's a multiple of your size. So every 6
Oh.
damage is a wound, and every 8 damage would have been a wound on the Husker. Well, I got lazy for math purposes and said every 5 points of damage for everybody's a wound. So it was.
I mean, that seems like a
That's
good
fine.
average,
I mean,
right?
you know, it's fine.
We all got burned then. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted
But
to.
if we ever get a special ability that makes us a giant, that's going to be an important mechanic.
Yeah, like biggin, where you go up to size 7 or something like that. Anyway, and then that was the only glaring one that got me. Yeah, we covered chips. We did a good job at our wound. We didn't do stun, but we can start fresh in this new adventure, including stun rolls.
And
Okay.
actually, following the rules properly. Got
No
it.
one's.
I don't know.
No one's.
I'm iffy on 5e anyway, so.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say no
Haven't
one's
gotten emails for
casting
that yet.
Thunder Wave, so we're fine.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's a Pokemon
And-
reference for you true believers out there.
And just as a CYA, I'm the marshal. It's my table. It's my rules. Go away.
It's a guideline.
Okay,
I don't-
bye.
It's a guideline. No, that's to all. Because there's somebody out there going, I didn't like how he did that. He interpreted that so wrong.
But
Go listen to
be
all the
fair,
other
there's
Deadland
people who are super into the rules, and that helps govern their world. But like Jeff said, it's it's his damn table. He's gonna run. There's no room in this town for anybody but him, as sheriff.
You want?
Marshal.
I'm gonna be at Emerald City Comic Con. Bring it. Bring
Why
it.
are we attacking our
I
audience?
don't know. That's very aggressive.
I didn't buy in on
Unnecessarily
the Comic Con, but I'll be outside the doors. I'll meet you outside by
He'll,
the
he'll
flagpole.
be outside the convention
Yeah.
center. Just
3 o'clock.
Look for the 3 beefy men in ODND podcast shirts and fight us.
you guys are beefy.
Well, we wear beefy tees.
Well, we wear baby girl cut tees, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so with that out of the way, and Dan can cut as much of that as he wants. So we do have some housekeeping before we get started. And I think most of this relates to Clem, but we already all drew our chips, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay,
And I spent chips.
I ate chips.
Yep.
nice. All right.
Please write in. I'm really curious who's really wanting to know our chip count. Like if they want that detail, I'm into it.
So
At me, bro.
another confession, I'm supposed to have my own chips as Marshall.
Mm.
I don't. I just am like, I'm going to
Too much
spend a
mechanics.
chip now for story.
Fair
If I
enough.
want to take over Clem for a minute, I'm going to, quote, spend a chip.
Yep.
Okay.
But I don't abuse that privilege.
He's
so.
God, guys.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop.
Stop it.
Calm down. Chill out. Just relax. It's okay.
May
You don't
Jeff's
need to-
will be done.
You don't need to do this, guys.
Go
Calm
have
down.
a bourbon. Go have a bourbon.
Ooh,
Okay.
Have a boba.
Go ahead.
Snork
Yeah.
a boba.
Have a
Snorkel.
snorkel boba.
Ooh, reference.
Reference to what other chaos?
Yeah.
So should we roll for spirit here?
Yes. What is your spirit dice?
Mine
12.
6d10.
60. Jesus.
I've got
Yeah.
I've got
Mine's
1d6.
3d12.
I had to
This is
up my
2d6.
spirit
I'm
game.
not a total.
I'm basically a cleric who didn't think, you know what, religion would be a good idea.
We can fix that too.
No, I'm working on it. Now that I forgot about the bounty points thing, so I can actually start banking some.
Yeah.
Because I need 24 to change my die size.
And
Oh.
that. Yeah.
Religion, not for me, but
I will add that if for some so you can get as many number of dice, so attributes, as high as you want. So you could drop, if you wanted to spend the bounty points, like 10d4 if you wanted.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I have 66 in faith right now.
Oh,
But
okay.
I need a higher die count. Because I think 6 is like the bare minimum to succeed at anything I want to do.
Right.
So I have to do perfect.
Yes. Oh, but what I was going to say is you max out at D12, and if you want to increase your die type above that, it ends up being D12 plus 2, so like 6D12 plus 2.
Mm.
So, just so you know. All right, so
oh, I dropped my die. Hold on.
6D10, you said?
Yeah.
All right. And you have...
Clem's a very spiritual man.
Yes. And you have 8
Yes, I do.
Dominion points, and I have 2. So
Oh, we got to do a little bit of
Domination.
Ghost in the Shell math.
So have at me, you ghoulie. Oh shit.
17.
Wow.
Hold on here. Got one more. Okay. 24.
Oh,
Well-
damn.
Yeah,
Well,
I aced it with a 6 plus my 8.
Nice.
Plus my stick.
And my axe.
Your
So-
brother.
And my Colt.
so you are now at 9 Dominion points, and
Pencil that in.
Charlotte is at 1.
Did you guys see that meme? With the whole thing of I will avenge my brother?
No.
It says, I will avenge my brother. And then it's like, barbarian, you have my axe. Fighter, you have my sword.
That, yeah.
Ranger, you have my arrow. Necromancer, and your brother.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen
Yeah, I have seen that one.
that. The guy that does those memes is hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit late, or a little late, but if you want to edit this pun in, Charlotte, more like no spirit ghouly suckster, Charlotte.
Yep,
fine,
I'm
let's keep
definitely making
going.
sure to put that in. Because I feel like the timing was off at
Cut
this
that
point.
part out.
So for the record,
close.
So close.
in case
I
I forget,
interrupted this flow, and that's really where the problem was.
Oh. No, I can tell. Oh, tonight's gonna go.
Yeah.
I didn't give you guys anything to kill, and that's gonna bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Um,
This is all roleplay tonight, guys. Godspeed to all of us.
Especially the audience.
so
Settle in, guys.
Yep. So, Clem, for the record, the card I drew for your spirit has you at parity. So she has the exact same spirit as you. So if you increase your spirit, her spirit increases, so on and so
Oh
forth.
no.
Hey, I could have drawn an ace, which is +1 die type and +2 trait level.
All right.
Okay.
We're at the hotel, right? Is that what
Yes.
Was anyone
So-
gambling?
No.
Yes.
I'm finding a place to put my suit. It's
All
like
right.
I was carrying my suit, my little rolling suitcase, for 2 days, 3 days, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head to my room. Come on, horse. I think we should turn in for the day. We had quite a situation. So we go to our
Horace just kind of carries your bag and plods along like the good little
dude,
half chauffeur, half sidekick he is.
He's my weapon valet,
Yes.
like in Jumanji.
So part of our recap, just real quick before you retire to your room, was that Clem can't get drunk. Could we do a roll? Because I feel like he wants to seclude him. I want to seclude myself.
Oh, that's right. That's
maybe-
what we were gonna do. We were gonna do a drinking contest.
Maybe we could
Oh,
do a
that's
roll
right.
just for a little bit of side cash made or something. It's up. Yeah.
I forgot
Sure.
that's what we were gonna do.
Fievel's curled up on my blanket on the floor.
Sure. Go for it. So who are you? What are you? How are you trying to make your money?
I'm just standing there awkward. You're the salesman, Bartholomew.
I went to bed after all, so maybe Allie's the actual salesman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like the weird freak show that Bartholomew's like, check this out, and then goes to bed.
Yeah, 'cause I realized I need to take care of my brother
Mm.
or my cousin.
Cousin.
I mean,
Cousin.
Well, Alice, you have an unstoppable drinking machine.
All right.
I don't know if you want to market this. I'm feeling really awkward and standing there.
So we're in the tavern or the
yeah, we're in the
Whatever.
saloon.
saloon. I get up on a chair. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Everyone
my-
everyone turns around and gives you rapt attention with
Thank you,
this
thank
kind
you.
of like, oh
Thank you,
shit,
thank
what's
you.
going on? Look,
Do they
Thank
know
you.
that she's the hero?
they suspect it, but you know,
My name is Alice Taylor. I am new in town. And this is my
What's two other things interesting about it?
this is my best friend Clem. And he
Hello, y'all.
would like to challenge one of you to a drinking contest.
What you guys are missing at home in this audio only thing is the hand motions she is performing.
I
as-
should be doing hand motions. It'll get me. more steps.
I'm like gesturing emphatically over here. It's fine.
We're in the saloon?
Yeah.
Okay, Frank's gonna go behind the bar, ignoring the she tuts at the at the bartender and just puts some money on the thing and then just grabs a bottle and walks back to her seat to watch the show, obviously.
Obviously.
Right, now it's back to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I mean-
So
Yeah.
everyone is kind of like eyeing over Clown. Like, what is this guy? He can't be that good at drinking. And all the farmers are kind of looking around like, well, are you going to walk up to him? No, are you going to walk up to him? And finally, a youngish man, maybe in his 20s, early 20s, looks like a real tin-horn cowpoke. All of his clothes are nice and clean and matching, and leather. Think Bartholomew if he was trying to pretend to be a cowhand.
So Horace.
Yeah. Walks up and leans on one of his silver-plated 6-shooters and says, "All right, I challenge you, sir, to a drinking duel. Name your poison."
A good southern whiskey, if you would.
All right.
I guess I say that to the bartender. Him and Shiny McTinhorn.
Shiny. His name is Paul McGuffin.
Paul McGuffin.
I shout down from the stairs, "Are we here to get you? Is that why we're here?"
He says, the bartender's like, okay, and takes 2 glasses and pours 2 equal shots and says, okay.
So I guess I just look over at Alice like, we good? Like,
We have a challenger!
and I clink his glass and down the first round.
All right. I'm just going to see how many rounds this poor guy lasts.
Midway through, I turn to him and like, you will have to forgive my ever-changing affectation, as it does change as I do travel all across this land. You wouldn't happen to be related to the Champsworths by any chance, would you?
No.
That is Bartholomew's last name, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
No, sir. My name
The
is...
Atlanta Chancellor.
Who is that guy? So
Actually, we've settled in, and I come downstairs with Horace because we want to get some food.
Okay. Cool. You keep going, and he downs the second one and says, "All right, sir, something you should know. I'm part German and part Irish. I can keep going all night long."
Oh dear.
I down mine and go, well, son, my great-grandmother O'Malley, something says you don't have a chance.
I go over to the bartender, and I get 2 full bottles of the whiskey. I bring it over. I'm like, well, if you're all that interested, then I guess maybe we should up the difficulty a little bit. And I just take the glasses away and leave them the bottles. Let's turn this into a race.
How much have we laid down on this? I don't really know how gambling and like gambling on
Yeah,
other people
That's a good
works,
point.
but
Allie is the the bookery.
Shit.
Yeah, I have $127. I figured we wouldn't get many people like throwing 100 down right away, but maybe you could be, ringing
I
up.
could pass my coonskin cap around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Start.
Okay,
start
so I have my hat. I'm like, well, if we've seen a good start of this game here, so if you believe our buddy Clem here is gonna be the winner, go ahead and throw a bit of cash in my hat. But if you believe that the other gentleman, oh sorry, what was your name, sir?
Oh, Paul McGuffin.
If you think Mac over here is gonna be the winner, go ahead and throw him in that coon hat.
So,
We'll split the winnings to whoever bet on the right side.
so
Only one.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a jerk.
Uh-oh.
That's probably fair.
Since I know this game is rigged,
Uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah.
We rigged it.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have chips, guys. Remember we discussed this earlier.
Allie, I like your commitment to the con, frankly. Oh no! The DM knows? Shit.
So Allie, give me a. Do you have persuasion? Give me a persuasion check.
Actually, I think this might be where I'm a Viking. I've got 3 in persuasion.
I got
3d6.
3d12.
Oh well, never mind.
So,
Well, you are a snake oil salesman, so
my highest is 11.
Who are we pursuing?
Okay,
the
Oh.
crowd.
11
Oh.
works.
What's that?
She's got it.
Scrutinize? Oh, she's got it.
She's the one who stood up on the chair and yelled at everyone.
I don't have any
So,
scrutinize.
let me see here. $1 goes in for Clem. And $2 goes in for
Mac.
Paul.
Okay, that's
So
it.
so
That's
here's
sad.
here's what I'm going to let you do.
Okay.
You can keep giving us more and more encouraging speeches and keep rolling your persuasion checks, so whichever one of the, I will give everyone a chance to roll a persuasion check and entertain, and I will roll
Based on that.
based on that.
Could mine be more of a performance to
I gotta-
pretend I'm already drunk?
I got a 10.
Okay.
I can do tale telling.
Well, why don't you tell a story of how amazing...
If it helps, I have 4d12 in showmanship.
All of those would be excellent stats to showcase.
I'm gonna do because I'm rooting for Paul, right?
We're trying to get them to lose.
Yeah.
So we want the most money to Paul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Can I do a performance to make it seem like I'm
Yeah.
already, like, instead of a
So then I'm just like
speech, I'll do like a.
don't
I
have
mean,
very
I'll do a
many.
drunk speech about Irish, the O's versus the mix, but
Oh, the last time I saw Clem try to defeat somebody in this sort of competition, he practically exploded.
Yes, there was goo everywhere.
Goo everywhere. Oh, so disgusting. And he was out like a light with one little touch. I mean, metaphorically. Oh, I got an ace. Oh, 5. That was disappointing.
So you got a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, $10 goes into the Paul's going to win pot.
Into Paul?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't... Okay, gotcha. And I got a 10 on mine.
Okay.
And mine's
So-
just persuasion. No. Well,
Okay.
I mean, my hat's probably the better hat. I mean, Clem is a bit of a lightweight. he always thinks he can win. I mean, look at that face. You can tell he thinks he's all that, but, you know, he's not really.
Okay.
All that in a bag of chips.
2.
Poker chips.
There's now $12 in the Paul will win hat and $17 in the what's his name? Clem will win hat. So do you want to keep trying or for more or
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a performance on acting like I'm more drunk than I am.
What's mean?
Which is
mean?
not at all.
okay.
What's mean?
Oh shit! It's a 1.
It's a 1?
Hey,
We're
y'all,
working the crowd as
am
well as we
drunk
can.
as hell. This night
Yeah, he
is
says
wild.
as he enunciates.
Yeah.
I sure don't know how to speak.
Yeah, what's the general mean, like, skill?
Mean is like your mental fortitude and aptitude.
Okay, can I roll my mean, like, to kind of, like, I'm seeing who the suckers are to really push them?
Mean is like charisma, is basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got 46 in it. I'm trying to use it.
Okay, fine. Roll it.
All right. I'm trying to convince
use,
the
like, searching?
most gullible people.
Okay.
4. God damn it. I rolled 4 dice and I only got a 4.
Okay. So it's still 17 and 12. And who's paying for the drinks? Are you guys paying for the drinks or are they going to split them?
I think it all depends on how this game plays out, yeah?
All right, fancy lad. This betting, I don't quite understand.
Wait.
I am just a simple
Does
man.
anyone have like a
but-
sleight of hand type thing?
I have pickpocketing, I think.
Jesus,
I'm just thinking,
I'm
can
talking
we...
to you, McGuffin. Whoever loses
have
this
40,
match
10
buys
sleight of
the
hand.
drinks.
I've got 40, 10 in sleight of hand and 40, 10 in that's lock picking.
Yeah, what I'm just thinking of is moving money into the Clem hat without anyone noticing.
Oh yeah.
Because there's more in the Clem hat, or out of the Clem hat. Because if he wins, we're going to distribute that.
Right.
So if less of it's in his hat, more of it's in McGuffin's, that ends up in our pocket.
So I have 40, 10 in both filchin and sleight of hand.
So what would you think that would be, Jeff?
So you're going to steal some from
We want to move it from one hat to the other.
Filchin.
All right.
I walk over to Allie. I'm like, to keep this proper, I will hand these hats over to this lady that you can easily see.
I am going to make this a difficult check. You need to get a 9 or better.
Well, I got a 9 and an ace.
Hello.
So 12.
Okay. So you don't raise it. Okay, so you are able to get, let's say, $5 moved over.
So basically, we traded places on the amounts. So it's 17 in the Paul hat and 12 in the Clem hat.
Yes.
Okay. That means we still get out on the positive end on this. That's all I was thinking of. I guess at the end of the day, we're still making money.
Alice fucking kicks ass at gambling.
So would you say that you bought a bottle of cheap stuff or a bottle of good stuff?
Oh, I would have gotten the
Good.
cheap stuff.
It's
This isn't about
Southern.
drinking good. It's about drinking a lot.
Okay.
Okay. So poor Paul gets about halfway through, quarter of the way through the bottle, and is really swaying. And he's gonna tell you, man, that I saw that sheriff go in the house, and I didn't see him come out again. What happened? He died. I bet you he is hamburger now. That's what happened. Saw it with my own eyes. Hamburger.
Oh dear.
You saw it with your own eyes, huh? You went in that house, sir? You went to see what happened in there, sir?
I saw somebody go in there.
Right. So you saw hamburger? That's the I believe the question we're all asking now, Mr. McGuff.
And he picks up the shot glass and goes, I know what I saw, fancy pants, 10 horn. Downs it and vomits all over. Let me roll a d4.
All over
Oh
Glenn.
no. Jesus.
All over.
It's gonna be me.
Gotta be me.
Do you want it to be you?
No. It's gonna be.
Is it
Oh.
really in
Don't
parts
kink shame in this.
of
All
personality
over
You gotta
to
Frank.
protect
Try
her.
and cheat. All over me? What did
Well,
I do?
Frank's shoes.
Aw. These are
And
my only shoes.
I didn't tell her to do it. I was
And
just
then-
giving Kimberly an idea.
and then
Yeah,
passes
yeah.
out.
Some of this. Oh, poor thing.
Dang.
So-
I was gonna
My
drink
shoes
his
on
whiskey
his
bottle
shirt.
too.
Oh, so sad. Wipe, wipe, wipe.
Well,
So
I'm no doctor, but I think we might want to roll him on his side.
Sad.
All right, well.
So your winnings are whatever was in the pot, less $4 for the booze,
All right.
and
This was not worth it.
I mean,
It was fun.
No, we got
Hey, we
there
each
was
got
$29
$3,
in the pot.
right? Oh damn.
I take $5 for new shoes.
And then I guess $8 for the rest of us. Each.
actually, shoes are only $2, so I don't know what kind
She
of shoes
took
you're buying.
5
Shut
for
up,
shoes.
Marshall.
Didn't say she
I
spent
still
5
get
on
the
shoes.
least amount of money. So
So okay, and so nobody's gonna try and feel them up, or
what's really funny
Oh,
is I have
no,
a lot
I'm
of
not,
money
uh,
already.
If I learned anything
Wow,
from Red
no,
Dead
I'm-
Redemption, you do not feel in people's pockets while there's other people around.
Yeah.
that's
Because then they will run and then the police come after you.
This is Skyrim basics even.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I do have one thing I want to do in the night before we proceed to the
I don't
morning.
think we're done with this drinking contest.
Okay, I just
What do
wanted to
you
make
mean?
sure.
I go over to Allie and I'm like, all right, well, he's already halfway there. Maybe someone else wants to try.
All right. So that was good. That was good. But my friend here might have a little bit more in him. Anybody else want to try?
I mean, he's already half the bottle in, so I mean that's a pretty good start for the rest of y'all.
I don't know if it comes off as if I'm drunk, but I'm feeling pretty awkward at this point for showing my friends my new ability and they're taking advantage of it. So I'm just kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
don't blame
But
him.
we're your
shuffling
best
my
friends.
feet at this point.
Franck is sitting back down because she's not as amused anymore. And so she's drinking her own liquor.
So a big
Oh, dear.
burly man, like
One that
Burlyman?
could break Bart in half.
Stevie Burlyman.
yeah, Stevie Burlyman. No, Johnny Walker. No.
The man
What's
himself.
great? What's great is how Jeff comes up with these names months in advance. The entire city's populated already, and he just has to say a name.
It's legit. Seems legit.
Yeah, it's legit. So big guy. I am going to go with Johnny, just
Yeah.
because he's like 6'6", 400 pounds, dusky skin, big handlebar mustache that kind of hangs down to his flabby jaw. He's got like 7 chins.
Nice.
Ooh.
Walks up, slams a $5 bill on the table and says, just you and me. Right now. Chug it all.
Wow.
Yeah,
I start walking around with the hats again, going, wow, that's kind of a crazy request. There's no way little old Clem's gonna be able to stand up against the mountain over here. Do I need to do a persuasion?
calmly set my 5 on the table. Is this just for the whiskey, or is this our? Hold on, sorry. Is this for the whiskey or the bet, sir?
So this is me challenging you. Whoever finishes that bottle first and can walk, they pick up that $5 bill and walk right on out of the saloon.
I'm still walking around with the hats.
A bottle or that bottle? Because I am not side chugging with you, sir.
You're not gonna take me up on my challenge?
Of course he is. Of course
I get them 2 fresh bottles.
Ooh, big man.
Thank you, Bartholomew. I did not want to share cooties with Roly Poly over here.
So I rolled a 9 to try to convince other people to still throw money in the hats.
Okay. So they're getting a little tapped out after the last round, but
I'll throw my 8 in. I don't know where the pool is going. I don't know. I guess maybe this is a bad idea. I'm not gonna throw it in. Never mind.
So 7 is betting against Clem, and 3 are betting for Clem.
Okay.
So, and there's this $5 on the table. If you're getting 2 new bottles, that's $4. So there's a $1 bet on the table.
Yeah, sounds good.
Whatever's in the pot.
I don't know if I have to roll for it, but I crush my bottle. In fact, literally, I drink it and then take a bite out of the top.
Okay. Did anybody else want to try and raise the pot any?
Before I ruin it?
Well, Frank's over it. I think Horace is just probably watching in rapt attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's never seen a saloon bet before. I mean, neither have I technically, but
yeah. So that's $8 more that you guys won, right?
Woo-hoo.
Yep.
Sweet. So I down my whiskey bottle and look at Horace and go, "This one's for you, little man," and take a bite and just bleeding out of my mouth, and just with a big red smile for Horace.
So Johnny is kind of wobbling back and forth. He gets about 3/4 of the way, and he doesn't say anything, but whiskey clearly makes him mean, and he's kind of itching, drawing his hand up his thigh, and
Awkward.
patting toward, trying to find his pistol on his belt, and it's like, "You're a cheat. I don't know how you did it, but you're cheating me out of my money, and I'm gonna kill you for it." And
What did you think? That he just died and knows how to drink? Nah.
that
my
would
dear
be
sir,
ridiculous.
how does one cheat? I got the bottles from this bartender. I mean, if anyone cheated, it would have had to have been the bartender, I believe.
They all look at the bartender.
the whole bar looks at him.
Oh, no cheating.
Well, I just rolled 15 to quickness for
Drawn?
initiative, so.
Oh,
He
shit.
said we weren't gonna fight anyone today.
Well, it turned out we were assholes.
All right.
No, we can calm him down.
Clem just goes, look, friend, if you feel that chid, you keep that 5 and you walk away here in one piece.
Roll a persuasion.
Oh shit. Let's see here. What is persuasion under?
Mean.
Oh, this guy's
Right in the middle.
This guy's gonna die because my persuasion's really low. Yeah, that's a 2.
Okay, so I walk around with the hats. All right, tell you about which one of them's gonna die first. I throw a Franker hat.
So Johnny's gives up on trying to grab his gun and
That's probably
grabs, just balls his hands up in fists and
Cries like a baby. Probably.
Oh, puts them to his eyes.
goes ahead and takes a swing.
Oh.
And I need to jot down what his fighting is.
Can I try to interfere with that and get him with my whip?
Oh.
Just wrap it around his wrist to pull it. I'm not good at the whip. I'm just gonna say right now, I'm probably not gonna succeed. What? I think
dear.
I haven't used it since the first session. What
What
am I
hit
supposed to?
some poor
I'm going to
bar
make you
lady.
roll a fighting whip check.
Okay, so I don't have that.
Here goes part of Clem's face, audience.
I was going to say with a called shot hand multiplier, so you would need like an 11 to
So
pass.
I don't have any fighting. So what am I rolling here?
It's like 1d4 or
Yeah.
wait, what's fighting under?
Nimbleness. I've got a d6 in that. I've got 46
Okay.
in nimbleness in general.
So you're rolling 4d6 minus 4.
Oh, okay. Four.
So you reach for your whip and flick it out to grab at Johnny's wrist, and you strike him straight up in the neck. Not for a lot of damage, but it definitely gets his attention.
Shit.
And so now
Ugh,
we're gonna have a bar fight.
damn it.
Does my 15 still count, or do I have to re-roll it?
Oh no, you can draw yourself 3 cards at 15. I'm okay.
Because
with
I aced, so I might just for clarity here. My quickness is 2d12. I rolled a 12, and then I rolled a 3. So
I'm actually going to go get another bag of dice. So if you hear a rolling
Jesus.
sound, that's
Well, it's a bar fight. You know what happens in westerns during a bar fight?
Oh, a lot of
Everyone gets
sugar.
involved.
Sugar glass.
Oh, it was a barroom blitz.
I'm guessing we're gonna. Are we using guns, or are we gonna try to keep this semi-civil?
Well, that's between you guys. Johnny
That's
is
between
using
you
his
I'm
and
fist.
talking to
God.
these guys. Well, yeah, he's using his fists, right?
I mean, I feel like you kind of already set things off on a bad note with the whip.
Right, but the whip was not a gun.
holy crap.
Right.
So, okay.
But there's
I
fists,
rolled a-
and then there's everything
Did the
else
sound turn down?
as a
Okay.
weapon.
No.
I rolled
Did you guys turn me
17
down?
on my quickness.
Mine?
Nice. Nice.
I think
Oh
my-
shit! Yeah, quickness. Okay.
Check over here.
What?
Make sure it's not loose. So I got a 17 on my quickness, so I get 3 cards as well.
Yep.
Weird.
So
Oh, I got the title card. Apparently, I have title cards in here. 10, Queen, 3.
I got a red joker, a king, and a queen.
11. What does that? Does that 2?
2 cards.
2 cards?
Maybe did it turn off?
Well, that sounds fine to me.
Oh shit!
everything
Red
sounds
Joker
fine.
and a 3.
Must be
Wait,
mine.
Kimberly, what did you get?
A red joker, a king, and a queen.
Oh,
Oh, I thought. Okay, I thought you said a red
forgot
Joker.
about that.
Okay,
Queen
so
and a
you're
3. But
yeah. So your red Joker, you get to go whenever you want.
All right. So are we just fighting the one dude?
For now, depends if you're going to engage.
Oh, I have to roll for
anybody else.
Horus, don't I?
Yes,
That makes more sense.
There's no way he's not going to join in now, right?
that's right.
dude, if Horace doesn't join in, we're in trouble.
Horace got 10. He gets 2 cards.
See?
I only got 1.
Jack and a 5.
Oh, come on.
You got an ace, Harry? Oh, no.
Oh, I guess that goes first, huh? No, it goes
No,
last.
it goes last.
Aces
Well,
go first.
actually-
do they?
Aces, yeah.
Are you
Oh.
sure? I thought you said it last time it wasn't.
Yeah, no,
I
I always
will-
start counting down with aces.
I'll go first with my Joker.
Oh shit.
And I
Okay.
want to shoot the guy.
Shoot! Jesus.
Damn.
Frank
This
is
is
not
gonna be
that-
Frankie all over again.
Well, I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
I
Punch
didn't know we were killing these
Can we
people.
just tackle him?
I thought they were our friends. We defended them, and then we come and cheat them, and then.
Well, this guy's
shoot them.
threatening the other guy.
Right.
I mean, maybe you could shoot, aim for his foot or something.
Can I do that?
Okay.
Can I?
Or
Can I?
disarm him?
Called shot is going to be harder to do.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
better
that.
than straight up murdering someone.
I just feel like if they hear a gunshot, shit's going to get real
Well, so
real
what's
fast.
where is my
It would,
fighting? Oh, it's right here. I really am not good at fighting.
mm-mm.
What do if I don't have anything in it and I have a 1d8 in nimbleness? What do I do?
If you don't have anything in fighting, you would roll 1d8 as your fighting roll,
-4.
-4.
Well, I aced that, so
Yay.
8. Oh, 9, so 5.
So 5.
So can I use it to pull my gun and go hit him with it?
Just pistol whip him.
Can I? Would that?
Yeah, why not? Go.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my gun.
Actually-
I'm gonna pull my gun to look all threatening and then whap him with it.
Yeah.
Actually,
That would-
I am going to be a very generous marshal.
Uh-huh.
I will let you use your shooting pistol score
Oh,
as your fighting score.
okay. I like
Okay.
that.
Because it's trained with the weapon.
Yep.
11.
11. Okay.
If I need to roll a d20, it's an 18.
Okay, so you hit him in the chest, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Upper gut. Right in the sternum.
Mm-hmm.
So, what damage does she
Oh
do?
yeah, what damage do I do?
Strength.
Okay, my strength is.
That makes sense.
What's my strength?
It's on the right hand side near the bottom. It's near
Oh,
your
so
size and
2d8,
vigor and stuff.
2d8, okay. I rolled 11. Yeah, because I add
Yep.
those ones, right?
Yep. So it is 11 to his upper chest, so that's 1 wound for him. Okay.
All right. So that was her Joker,
Yep.
and
So
Josh
now-
had a Joker, right?
Yeah, but I'm saving it.
Okay.
So Johnny has a ace, so he's going to.
So does
now-
Harry though? Does he? Do they get to pick who goes first, or is there a way to?
I will let Johnny
It's
go
the
first.
type of ace, right?
He was
Like
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the suit.
Yep,
Uh,
it goes suit, but
gloves.
ladies first. I will let you
Hell
go
yeah.
first.
Hold on. Five-0, stop.
What are
Hey.
you barking at? There's nothing here.
All right.
Fievel wants to go west because he knows we're in the Wild West. So
Bible's a girl.
Yeah, 5-0's a girl's name. All right, A.
what does that have to do with going west?
It's a long story.
So does he even have weapons?
No, he's just brawling.
He just
He's
looks like he's gonna.
He was going to draw his gun, but instead he just punched instead.
Got it.
yeah.
Did he connect?
He hasn't actually gone yet.
No, he tried to punch and you guys fucking...
I whipped him in the neck instead.
This poor guy.
I was protecting you, asshole.
I'm dead. I could have I wouldn't even have gotten a black eye.
Look, we haven't had a chance to really go through
can
the
I
rules
try-
of this yet.
Can I try fighting to kind of like put him in a headlock?
Yeah.
Just try and sleeper hold. That's what it's called.
She wants to wrestle him.
Well, I want to calm him down. Can I do a Spock nerf
Fucking
pinch?
nerf pinch.
I don't know.
Or you can just
Or can I just sit and drink?
you can pistol whip him. You could swing at him with your gun
Ooh,
like a bat.
I'm not trying to hurt him. We tried to cheat him. I don't think it's fair that we're trying to beat him up.
It's not cheating. It's biology.
We didn't tell them that though. If you don't tell the whole truth, you're cheating.
I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
If you're going to try and grapple him, let's do contested strength checks.
That's not too bad. You got 3d4 in that?
Yeah, I'll try that. I
How
don't think
much
it's gonna
money
be
is
good.
flying? I feel like
Oh, I would have put it in my pockets very quickly. Because he
Okay.
walked away, so we had a chance to pocket everything.
Maybe I can.
I have the money written
Can
down
I
on my
just
sheet.
sneak upstairs to my bedroom?
I don't know if the other people are going to let that happen now. You were involved.
Okay, what is his strength?
I have it. Oh no, I don't have an animal wrangling.
Are you going to try?
I have trapping.
How much
Would
of an animal does a handlebar mustache count as?
What'd you get on strength?
Oh, sorry, that would be like Teamster.
She's bulking.
Oh.
Oh, one of those are. Oops. Well, I got 2 4s, so.
Still going.
Oh shit!
Still going. Still going. What?
What is up with this dice?
Still going. Oh my
What
God.
the
This isn't one of my loaded dice either. Okay,
There we go.
25 with a D4.
With 3d4, she got 25.
Okay. And so you needed a 5. He didn't pass his check, so you got 5 raises. So Franck bum rushes the drunk, slams him into the bar, and he's
Okay.
like, "Hi, pretty lady," and slumps forward, knocked the fuck out.
Now, I turned to the crowd. I'm like, that was cheating. I mean him. Well, him turn around trying to fight us because that's not what she did. She's just a mom. She's from Mexico.
Oh, the whole crowd is like, oh.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. And then, so some of the patron, I figure it's probably 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, somewhere in there. Some of the patrons have gone home. Some of them ran because of the ensuing brawl. So it's the bar in the hotel is kind of thinned out now. One of the sheriff deputies. Wait, hold on. The sheriff and the deputies both died last session.
Yeah.
So one of
you
the-
mean us right now because we're still in town?
Yes. So since you guys are
Only one
quote,
rule.
the law enforcement, nobody comes to check in on your little escapades. But congratulations, you are now in a bar with 2 knocked out drunks
Yay!
and people, and what did we say? Like $30?
Did we? Yeah, we made more money off that, right?
Yep.
I took
We should-
Neck rolls $5 back in his pocket, feeling bad for him.
Oh, I thought you were gonna check it into his neck roll. Maybe. Okay.
Clem's not
I
the
say
most
this to-
vindictive person.
I pull out. Well, whoever's closest to me, Allie and Bart or something. Maybe we should give some of it to the bartender and offer 3 rounds. Otherwise, we might be run out of town on a rail.
I really want to leave town on the railroad, so.
No, just on a rail.
I don't know why you didn't ask
One
Clem. He would have
specific
been all
rail.
about that, but he's not part of this. So.
Well, I mean, I suppose it is the honorable thing to do. How much would it cost to... How much... I go to the bartender with Frank, and I don't know if Allie wants to join in or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, I'm sorry that had to happen, sir. That was not our intention. We were having a friendly game of drink a lot, and
Drink a lot. Is that hyphenated?
and half man, half fox down there decided that he didn't like the results. But I feel that you are deserving of just compensation because that definitely was not your fault. Also, I was joking about it being your fault with the cheating. I was just being a smart ass. I did not realize what was really going to happen.
This adventure really wasn't an adventure. I had a plot in mind, but the whole thing, as typical with this group, went off the rails in about 10 minutes. As soon as they decided to start the drinking games, I knew all my plans were dashed, and when the fight broke out, well, it serves as a lesson to me. The posse needs a bad guy to beat. We're at the end of February, which means the Kickstarter for the Adventure Edition of Deadlands is about to start. Definitely looking forward to talking about that with you guys. Reach out to us any way you prefer, and we'll have that conversation. Especially what you think of the mechanics, the new lore, all sorts of different topics there. Lastly, if you like either of our podcasts, ODND or ODND Presents, please rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you found us. It helps us get feedback and lets the show grow. ODND Presents is a part of the Stolen Dress Podcast Network. Go to stolendress.com to check out more shows that include our main of Dice and Den's podcast, as well as Comedy on Vinyl, Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour, and What's New with You, Scooby-Doo, among many others. Check out ODND at our website, odndpodcast.com. While you're there, check out our merch shop or go to shop.odndpodcast.com. You can connect with us on Twitter at ODNDpod, Facebook at ODND Podcast, or email us at odndpod@gmail.com. Theme music is All Good in the Wood by Audionautics and licensed under Creative Commons Distribution License. Deadlands: The Weird West is a publication of Pinnacle Entertainment Group.
Hey guys, it's Dan. I just wanted to throw a little something into our mid-roll here. I was on a TTRPG podcast called Knives at Night, and they finally dropped the first of 2 episodes I am in. So please check them out, knivesatnight.com, or you can find them on Twitter at knivesatnight. They've made it pretty easy. It was a lot of fun recording with them, and it's pretty crazy. It's Blades in the Dark. If you've never played that, you should check it out because it's a fun play style. So, Knives at Night. Check them out.
Bartender just kind of looks at Bartholomew, and he's got that stereotypical. He's got a glass in one hand and a rag in the other.
Rag in the
just kinda polishing. And he looks over at Johnny and Paul. Then he looks back at you all. He looks back at the 2 that are knocked out. He says, well, that Tin Horn's a bit of a show-off, and Johnny's got a temper. You didn't really do any damage to the bar. Tell you what, That nice bottle of whiskey has been on my shelf a long time. Hasn't been opened. Starting to get a little dust. And he kind of looks at Bartholomew kind of expectantly.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually was going to buy a bottle. So I think this is a win-win for us.
And he reaches back and he grabs the bottle and he sets it down in front of you and he's like, "Would you like a glass with that?"
How many people are in the bar?
At this point, probably. Hold on. See, I use dice when I don't want to make decisions.
Yeah, no, that's
Me
great.
too.
Seriously.
I'm like, do I want to go to work?
Hashtag swap.
11 to go to
D20.
work, damn it. Right?
There, other than you, there are 5 people left in the bar.
Also,
So I
9
say,
glasses.
let's get 10 glasses.
Okay. He pulls
Wait,
out
why
10 glasses and sets them out.
Because it's
Have they
there's
all been spit shine?
5 of us, including
No.
Horace, and then there's 5 people.
Clem called it. Clem's going up to his room.
Oh, I guess not.
I'm going up to my room. It's been enough. I put the $5 in Neckrol's pocket and walked up to my room a little
So-
abashed.
Are you all? Are you as strict with Horace as?
Absolutely not.
As Grin is with, what's
Yeah.
his name?
We are in the wild, wild west.
So he needs to man up.
Yep. The sooner he gets hair
He
on
needs
his
to
chest, the
ovary
better.
up.
Yep. So, I call Horace over, and I flag down the others like, "Come on, folks! It's been a hectic night. I think we all could use a little bit of liquid courage." Horace, have you had anything yet?
Well, I had a dinner, kind of cheap dinner here, and I'll be honest with you, cousin. I stole a sip of your whiskey when you were fighting.
Ooh.
Well, you should have been focusing on the fight. So I feel like this is an important lesson. Fight first, drink later. And I pour him a tall glass.
Shut the fuck up.
I pour a glass for everyone, and I say, "To bring in the peace."
All right.
/ pain.
To bring in the peace.
I'm gonna bring Clem's drink up to his room.
You
and
can't
just-
even enjoy it.
I can taste it, you dick.
Yeah. I
I
just
Jesus.
put it outside.
thought you tasted enough tonight.
It's different. This
Okay.
is like aged, amazing Deseret
That's true.
whiskey.
This is the best thing they could possibly have in the bar.
They make amazing whiskey, but they don't drink it. Like Coca-Cola.
How much did I
Think-
pay for that? You didn't tell me.
3,000.
Oh, for the bottle, $5.
Oh, Jesus.
It's still less than what we
But
did.
Frank brings her bottle, which is half empty, and Clem's drink
In a funnel.
In a funnel. She puts the drink outside his door and then goes to her room.
Found a way to drink the whiskey faster.
Sure, she drills a hole in the bottle with a shotgun.
Turns out being a Herod, you also don't have a gag reflex.
He's gonna be,
Very popular.
yeah.
At all those Deseret brothels.
Next, we're gonna teach him about keg stands.
Frank walks into an awkward scene in Clem's room. No.
Okay.
There's just one
Frank, I got
thing.
the whole lamppost.
There's just one thing I want to do before the night's over.
Stick a lamppost up your butt?
Okay.
Apparently.
I mean, I guess I enjoyed the whiskey. Hey, thanks Shamapel for bringing me this drink. You know, you're my favorite of this party. Don't tell the others. And after the nice whiskey flavored beverage that doesn't affect Clem, he takes just one candlestick, goes over to the little mirror. You know, the
Stick it up
wash
his
station, old timey, like there's a bowl with water, but there's like the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
he looks in the mirror in the dark with just the one candle and goes, Coot Jenkins. Coot Jenkins. Coot Jenkins. 3 times.
And nothing happens.
Worth a shot.
Well,
Me.
guess I'll go to sleep.
You're like, good thing no one saw that.
Good thing
Hey guys,
there
I know a
wasn't
cool
an
party trick. You
audience.
ready?
Good thing there wasn't an audience to this situation. Otherwise, I would be pretty damn embarrassed.
Snuggles up under his blanket.
Meanwhile, in the hills far above Purdy, a prospector sits around his fire and goes, "What was it?" "Oh, it's just gas," and goes back to eating.
Oh god.
So,
Okay, we all go to bed.
I'll go to bed. You wake up the next morning to a heavy fist pounding on your door, or
Ow.
That's exactly it. You
It
got
sounded
it.
like the lightest fist pounding.
My knuckles hurt.
Just open the door, Jesus. You gotta make 5 bark.
They're just doing it all over the
Oh, yeah,
door.
We're all in our own rooms.
Which one's hollow?
okay. So,
I'm trying to get the dogs to bark.
so
Right here, hi baby.
Uh-huh.
I'm imagining that there's 4 rooms and it's like in a square. So
I
there-
see.
yeah. So you hear bump 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 on the first one,
Bump,
and then
bump,
bump 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 on the second one, and third and fourth, and then after the fourth you hear a low, a low grunt.
Oh dear.
I go to the door. I'm like, horse, could you come out? Yes.
When you stick your head out,
I don't stick my head out.
okay,
I'm not a dumbass.
okay. So you crack the door open a little bit.
I'm just saying yes through the door.
Okay. On the other side of the door, you hear, "In front of the train,
Oh,
Oh.
horse, get your shit. Train's here.
Train's here.
What's his
Train's
name?
here.
Who's
Oh, the
Mumbles?
Wells Fargo
Mumbles
wagon.
McGee.
LB.
All right. come on.
LB. That's exactly. I didn't mean McGee. It was a stutter.
Yeah.
Mumbles LB is here.
Yes. O.B.
All right.
Sweeney.
We head out.
Yep.
It's nice to see you again, LB. It's been a while.
Been a minute.
You put on smellies.
Rude.
Heading on to Deseret today.
Does
That's the plan?
LB smoke?
Yes, L.B.
You
smokes like
blow
a
some
freight
smoke in
train.
his face.
So I feel like, yeah, I even though it doesn't like quite give Clem what he looks for anymore, he is smoking a rolled cigarette with LB before the train takes off. The group sees those two just kind of grumpily, like morning, like that morning cigarette, like, eh.
LB
Don't smoke, kids.
LB, walks up to the train and he's got the, half chewed cigar smoldering in the corner of his mouth. And as he approaches the train, he pulls his goggles down over his eyes and he climbs into the fire car. And waiting at the station is Jeb, the chief engineer, and he says, "Well, folks, we're just about ready to get started. Seems the good folks over at Smith and Robards sent a gyrocopter to us last night, brought us the part we needed. We also picked up another couple of train cars here." And he gestures behind the train that you guys had been riding on. And sure enough, there's the engine and the first sleeper car that you guys had been on. And now there's also another box car and another passenger car, and then the caboose. And the two...
No dining car?
No.
Oh, how am I
I'm
gonna
a
get
little
my
more
coffee?
concerned. Sir, is there anything from a museum in any of these carts? Cars?
The guy just laughs. Well, if you're worried about another attack, well, let me... So the new trains are painted in Union blue colors. Let me introduce you to Captain O'Haggerty. And this Union officer sticks his head out of the passenger car in Union blue colors and says, "What do you want, Jeb? We gotta get a move on." And Jeb says, "Well, these kind folks are the ones who walked out of those hills after that supposed bug problem."
Where did the reporter go? Did she not go with us?
Oh yeah.
She's an ally. She did her own thing, and
Yeah.
we have
Denise is with you guys.
Okay.
oh.
Denise Merritt.
Did she see the whole bar fight?
No, she stayed back on the she had stayed back on the train
Okay.
with Jeb and LB and
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Casey.
I like it.
I don't know if I ever told you that was their name.
I
Casey
feel like
is
you did.
I knew
feel
LB.
you did.
yeah. Casey is the androgynous dark-skinned person. So Denise, Casey, LB, and Jeb are on the train, and Captain O'Haggerty.
I say, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and just keep my stuff with me this time. Might save some time if we get knocked over or knocked over.
Jeb lets out a hearty laugh. "Oh, you are so funny, Mr. Champsworth. Well, I think these fair boys in blue will keep us plenty safe. They, Denver Pacific doesn't really hire their own enforcers much, but we love to take Union blue cars as far away as on our lines as far away as Nevada. They really do a good job keeping us safe." And O'Haggerty kind of nods and looks far off and then says to Jeb, "Look, I've got 12 infantrymen here, and we are off to Nevada. Would you please kindly start this engine and get us out of here?"
Don't mind if I do. Do we have specific seats, or can I just kind of find a spot and settle on down?
Jeb kind of motions to the train car you were in yesterday and says,
Yeah, but we didn't technically have a ticket for that train, so...
You're guests of Smith and Robards and the Denver Pacific Railway, so you get to sit in whichever seat you want.
Can I sit in the engine?
In the engine?
No, next to the conductor.
Throw in the
my
fuel,
wheels?
the Bartholomew fuel.
Jeb looks at you kind of weird, and then he side eyes LB.
I want to pull the horn. I haven't. I mean, Horace wants to pull the horn.
I'm sure if you ask nicely, the steward will take you up to the cabin or to
Cockpit.
the pilot thing, and he'll give you a little train button to wear on your shirt.
I'm asking for Horace.
Well, I'm sure they'll give him one
Right,
too.
Horace? And I give him a very stern look.
So, still a little morning crankiness from Clem. I just kind of like do and a nod at LB with cigarette still in mouth and like walk onto the passenger car, like kind of like a good day, sir. Like good luck with this
tell you
shit.
what, we'll talk about it later. Come on, horse.
Jeb kind of looks at LB, and LB just kind of shrugs. And Jeb says, "Well, why don't you just bring Horace up on now, and because we give 3 toots before we pull out of station, so."
So does Fievel.
I'd say go ahead, horse, and I lean in real close to my.
What?
I get 2 pins.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
So
Fievel, are you a dingus?
Horace and LB and Jeb make their way to the front, and O'Haggerty and his men kind of make camp in the last 2 cars, but they're mostly there doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the conductor, yet to be named, shouts from the platform, "All aboard! Next stop, Denver Pacific Station, Salt Lake City."
Oh, thank God.
There's nobody running. Everything looks fine. The train builds up a nice head of steam. You hear 3 amateur tugs of the whistle. And
Can you tell the
Notably amateur tugs.
yeah, they're
he's
not
only
the crisp.
16. He's the amateur tugger, that's for sure.
I don't know. By 16, he's probably got it well handled.
Well brought up.
He never drops
you
it
were.
anyway.
I mean,
And the
16-year-old
train-
boy, so.
The train moves on. And
Podcast over. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
This has been no.
Good night, everybody.
so, and to everybody's happiness,
Ultimate
nothing
pleasure.
happens.
I've been watching out the window pretty carefully most of the trip.
So you're taking the train, you come up over the Wasatch Mountains. We've all been to Salt Lake, right?
I've
Yeah.
driven through it once.
Okay.
I've only been to the airport.
Yeah,
really?
okay.
We should road trip.
Yeah. I will
In
say
and out.
this much. The temple and Temple Square at Christmas time is beautiful. Just they go all out.
Temple
But-
Square, just in general, is just really pretty.
Yeah. So you come up over the Wasatch Mountains, which are a hard line of mountains to the east of the Salt Lake Valley, I guess. And they're like pretty hard straight line running north to south. And you come up over the mountains through some tunnels down, and the train kind of comes into Salt Lake kind of from the south. And as you come over the hills, you're able to look down and you see in the center of the metropolitan area there is the Salt Lake City proper, the nice area where all the Mormons live. You can see the temple, not quite finished, and the tabernacle and some of the other nicer buildings, some of the hotels. Kind of to the south, you see the more industrialized junk town, which is just what it sounds like, a giant tangled mess of pipes and steel, and it is a lower rent district. That's where all the Gentiles or non-Mormons tend to hang out. And to the north, you see some of Hellstrom's infamous labs.
Dun dun dun.
This may be me projecting myself onto the character, but I look out and see how flat and boring and brown the area is and go, well, this is depressing.
What was your
Casey-
goal for coming out here, Clem? Did you have a goal?
AWOL, isn't he?
Well,
Like
you
a
know,
deserter?
just trying to right some wrongs, hang out with my best friends at this point.
They'd have to extradite him.
Yes. Yes, you have passed out of the disputed territories and into the theocracy of Deseret. So,
So I turned to Horace and I'm like, all right, so what's important to do now is realize that you should not say much about them having multiple wives or any of those types of things. I've just read about it in books. I don't know if that's common or not, but just, you know, any of the stuff that you are not used to, just don't say it, because you could be insulting their religion, and that could make it really awkward for us real fast.
Casey kind of folds down their paper and smirks. Yep, the Danites don't take too kindly to that. And then pops it back up, covering their face.
Yeah, well, he said. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. So it's probably been, 12 hours since you left Purdy. And here you are at the Denver Pacific Station in lovely southern Salt Lake City of Gloom. And so it comes to a halt. The next thing you see is Jeb pulls open the door, says, "You're free to take your belongings, ready to go." You see some men scurrying around outside. They're disconnecting the Union Blue train cars from the train you were just on, and they're getting them moved around and connected to another train, and this place is just a flurry of activity.
Okay, so real quick, is Salt Lake's motto "City of Gloom" in this game or in real life? Because I don't want to alienate our Utah listeners.
No,
but-
it's the game. It's what it's called in the game.
Okay,
So
I was gonna say, because that's the general sense I get when I go down there too.
Yeah. So, dear listener, my mother lived in Tooele for a while, so I've been there a lot. Salt Lake is a very beautiful place,
Oh, it's gorgeous.
especially in the winter with all the snow. But you must admit, in fall, it looks like a desolate moonscape. So,
And let's be honest, it's the traffic. And Jeff, I realize you deal with the same thing where you are, so it's not that big of a deal.
Is the traffic really
But
bad
that's
right
what
now? in
really
Deadlands?
drives home the negativity, in my opinion.
yes. So,
I would imagine. So I have a Friends in High Places level 2,
mhm.
which I was going to say is my father's friend who's supposed to give me work. So I would imagine he's probably meeting us at the train station.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about him.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Just my dad's friend.
So,
I don't even know what work it is. My dad said, "Go get a job."
well, you gotta give me a little something to work on. Is he a Mormon?
Probably, I would imagine that since he's probably got a significantly well-established business in the City of Gloom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably. I don't know what kind of work. I'm sure it wouldn't be something that requires my hands.
Okay.
That's just not what my family. Even my dad may think I'm a piece of crap, but he would not make me do manual labor.
Okay.
That's above my state or below my station.
I feel like
So-
that's something he could sell Clem out for. Because Clem's just looking to do something nice for folks.
Maybe maybe working in some sort of financial institution or something.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
All right. Let me. So,
Please
you.
roll a dice. A die, sorry.
Yeah. So as you step off the station, a well-appointed young man is there, bowler hat, and he's looking around, and he approaches Horace first and says, "Oh, are you Mr. Champsworth?" And Horace is like, "Yes."
No, your name is Hanbone. Hanbone.
Hanbo.
Horace.
Okay. So he's like, "No, but my cousin over there is a Champsworth." And the young man scoodles on over and says, "Are you Mr. Champsworth?"
I am Bartholomew Champsworth of the Atlanta Champsworths. My father sent me here. Do you work for Mr. What's his name?
No, what's his name is not present today.
Good note taking on your own character.
I
I'm trying to find a Mormon name generator.
Oh, no.
Pretty sure they have normal names.
yes.
Yeah.
Or like the same kind of names as other.
No, Hammond.
do-
I know that's in that. Sorry.
I was gonna go with Meacham, but Hammond. I will go with Hammond. Are you do you work for Mr. Hammond?
Yes. My name is Bernard Jones. My friends call me Bernie. But I have been sent by your uncle to take you to the family house. It's a very nice house, I might add, sir. Your uncle has done very well since joining the church.
That's good to hear. Our family has a tendency to find themselves ingratiated pretty well with the community, giving back and whatnot.
Yes, well, as you know, he's a very well-respected loan officer with the Bank of Deseret, so I'm sure you will do wonderful. I hear he's got you set up as a teller or even a bookkeeper.
Yeah, I suppose either one of those would be a good starting place. Found my place in the world.
Alrighty. And
Well,
he
Bartholomew, that
motions-
sounds like. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Bernard just motions towards a steam-powered horseless carriage sitting by the side of the road.
So I turn to the other folks and I go, do y'all have accommodations here in town?
Not yet.
Well, perhaps you could come meet my uncle, and he might be able to either find you accommodations, or I'm sure he has some free rooms. I mean, you definitely, save my bacon. I feel like a good turn deserves another.
that's
If any of you are
awful
looking for work, I'm sure he'd probably know some work, or be able to provide you with any.
Anything to do some good around town, and may I say, Bartholomew, that your uncle definitely has you pegged. You would be a good teller of some stories. Feel like with your bravado, you would, yes, definitely fit that job description.
I clap Clem on the shoulder and I'm like, I believe you are right. So I guess we all clamber into the horse shed.
Yes.
Who wants the hump seat?
So
Dibs.
some of the other things that happen, Denise gets out of the train and she toodles off to what are those, telegraph office to file her story of the Husker with the epitaph. LB actually pulls his cigar away from his mouth long enough to enunciate in a Texas drawl. Miss Edna's got the best cinnamon rolls in town. And then grunts, puts his cigar back away, back in his mouth, and goes about his business. And Casey doesn't leave the train. So
Is he part of the train? Is he half train, half man?
He like haunts
Part
the
of the train, part of the crew.
something like that.
When the moon comes out, he turns into a skeleton.
Yes. So you're all going to the Salt Lake Champsworth estate.
Sure.
Are we invited?
There's
Is
multiple
he a Chancellor
sectors? No.
It was Hammond, I thought.
Oh yes, Hammond.
Well, could it be Hammond Champsworth?
Yeah,
Is that?
There we go.
Hammond Champsworth.
Of the Salt Lake Champsworth.
Yes.
Yeah, Clem's just riding along, having a good old time.
There you go.
Looking, yeah.
So
I turn to Bernie and I go, so tell me, I haven't seen my uncle since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Why don't you, what can you tell me about him? You're welcome.
Well.
Bill.
well, pregnant pause as he turns the corner and starts edging his way through some of the crowded streets of Junktown. You know, he came out here and, what would that have been? 65, I guess. And, you know, he was Baptist when he first came out here with your aunt, but, you know, shortly thereafter, he realized the way to get ahead in the world was to join the church. And so he did. And your aunt both got baptized there in the temple. And shortly thereafter, yeah, his luck began to change. He got a job with the Bank of Deseret, moved his way up pretty good. You know, he used to work at the tithe office. That was fun, I understand. And, well, now he's I guess you'd call him a senior executive. He oversees some of the mining claims, you know, and loans for them. Psst, Dan, is that good?
Sure.
Okay. So they trundle along, and Bernie stops and turns his head. Was there any place in particular you wanted to see as we head home, or
I don't know, was there anywhere you guys wanted to check out, or do you think maybe we'll just make an evening of it? And...
Well, I think I'm gonna want
Are
to.
you just bringing us home with you?
Right now, yeah, you guys, none of you really had anywhere to go, right?
Right. I mean, I
was
I mean,
So
I
I
don't.
was just saying, you know, I can at least ensure you a bed for the night since you saved my life.
basically, yeah, like rest
Wow,
up.
one night,
get-
thanks,
get-
One night.
Bartholomew.
I can't even necessarily promise one night, but I knew I could at least convince him of one night. I don't know if I could say, hey, we're gonna have some people squatting in your rooms.
Well, it would be nice
Damn.
to have a night to recover from all the everything.
You
and
don't have to try to find a place
have a
last
proper-
minute.
have a proper wash and get a good night's sleep, so the next day I can go and find a place to set up shop.
Exactly.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
So then, Bernie
Wait,
just.
is this a dry country? Nation?
So, according to the book, no, they
Okay.
have alcohol and coffee and every sort of vice
Vice.
that you can think of.
Okay.
But
But
the Mormons wouldn't partake.
yes, but they're in.
It's discouraged.
Yeah. So to get whiskey, you have to go to Junktown. So basically, you have
We're
to
not
go.
having wine with dinner, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I should
Um,
hide my liquor deeper in my rucksack.
Well, you'll just get weird looks from the saints, as they call
Got
them
it.
in the
They'd
game.
probably try to convert you.
Got it.
Yeah, and you'll now if you are Mormon and are caught drinking or dancing, as they call it, fornicating.
Oh, I was like, is this a dirty dancing rule?
Yes,
Dancing is outlawed in Salt Lake.
the horizontal tango. Then your name gets published in the Deseret News on the back page on the blacklist, and you're shunned until the next edition comes out. It comes out weekly.
Hmm.
So,
Well, we have an ally, so we don't have to worry about that, right?
well, you
Well, I
have
don't know
an,
what level she's at yet.
Ayo.
yeah, you have an ally with the epitaph, not
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
shit.
Yeah, not the Mormon paper.
Ah.
So,
So just don't say you're Mormon. Don't lie.
Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe there'd be some benefits there.
I mean,
So-
really, what does it hurt you not to drink at this juncture, Clem?
I mean, well, touche, but I don't know. Maybe I could get something from Hammond here. No, never mind. I'm thinking too sneaky like Alice. She's rubbing off on me.
so Bernie can, because it's steam powered cars don't go very fast at this time, and the streets are crowded, so Bernie
It's an
will
hour
give you
commute, guys.
Bernie will give you the lowdown on any question you ask. So, do you guys watch or read any like cyberpunk type fiction?
I have in the past, not recently.
Yeah.
Okay. So Salt Lake is kind of like that cyberpunk trope where Junktown is basically the really poor, overcrowded
Got it.
part of the world that's kind of lawless.
Yeah.
And then the rest of Salt Lake is the carefully manicured,
Clean, utopian.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
we're going.
Yep. So, oh, and since we just made it up today, Bartholomew has friends in high places, parenthesis, Bank of Deseret.
I've come to town to inquire about the sandworms. I
Yeah,
don't know.
the flat. What were they called again?
Salt Flat?
Salt flat worms. Where would I find information?
Information s'il vous plaît. Well, probably the place I would start is some of the hunters down south of Junktown. I can find out the exact address for you if you'd like.
Oh, that
Ma'am?
would be wonderful.
Some of them, for the really big ones, there's ships that go out, motorized ships.
Ooh.
They're like trains without rails, and they have big harpoons on the back.
Are they kind of shaped like something from Return of the Jedi.
You know this word?
You know this word? You know this film?
I don't know about Jedi, but yeah, they look like giant trains or trucks that run on steam and run out there. And
I believe he's saying it looks a lot like Mad Max. And not, there ain't a gentleman dangling in front of a speaker with a guitar or anything.
Spraying chrome
but
on
there
my
is
face?
a lot of silver spray paint.
Yes. I do know this word.
Did anyone else want to ask questions before we arrive at our destination?
What's his name again?
Bernard Jones, or Bernie, if
Bernard.
you want to call him.
Mr. Jones. I don't know if maybe you've heard of any wrongdoings in town that need righted, but maybe you had the scoop on something as such is such.
Well, where we're going, there's not many. The sheriff takes care of most of the problems, and they say if people are too out of line, they find themselves fixed. But if you're looking for gossip, well, I would suggest maybe the Grand Hotel down in Junktown. They have a lovely lady. Oh my goodness, you should hear her voice like angels. They've got a piano bar there, and Mimi just sings. Oh, she's gorgeous, and her voice is like the angels.
Bernie, sounds like you're in love.
Oh,
Well, if you don't mind me interrupting here and asking what you mean by fixed by the sheriff. Her voice does sound lovely, but what do you mean by fixed?
he falls very silent. And after a minute or two's thought, he says, well, the sheriff keeps good enough control over the Saints parts. There's no crime here. The Saints are good people.
So, Clem, I'm picking up on subtext that you might find some trouble down in Junktown.
Everything is in Junktown.
He rounds the corner and points out a small bakery on the side. He says, that's Edna's Eats. Those are the best cinnamon rolls in town. And if you're really lucky, that dime novel writer, I Am Him, likes to go there and eat too. Maybe you can see him. Him.
Ching! New quest.
There's
Mr. Jones, it feels like we're having different conversations here.
he the car keeps moving on around. He keeps pointing out different things as they go. He points out several clubs and tells some stories about, this thing happened here and that thing happened there.
What kind of clubs are there?
Well, there's the green room. You're in the nice part now, and so there's the green room, and they say that is that the president himself likes to talk with some of his key advisors in there.
The president of Deseret.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Brother Young.
Yeah, Brigham Young is in charge of Deseret.
That's right. And they keep driving. You pass the temple, and he points at the incomplete spires and says, Yep, the president commissioned 2 gargoyles to sit there up front. They're not posted up there yet. They were actually stolen, I think. And he keeps moving on down the road.
Does that tickle your fancy, Dick? Then.
They finally pulls into a residential area, and the houses are nice and new, and they're made of stone. You know, you look around, the ones in your uncle's neighborhood, they're smaller lots. They're nice homes. They're, probably 4-bedroom homes. They're a lot better than what's in Junktown.
Which we have not seen, just to be clear.
You've kind of seen the outside of it.
I got it.
And the Salt Lake Grand Hotel, Bernie pointed out, and he pointed out some of the Smith and Robards factories and the Hellstrom factories. And
every time you say Smith and Robard, my brain goes to Sears and Roebuck.
I go Smith and Wesson.
I believe that was intentional on both counts.
Heyo.
I don't make this stuff up. Thank you, Pinnacle Entertainment Group. So you get there. It's a little gated community. You go in. Bernie parks the car and hops out, goes to the trunk, starts pulling out people's bags.
Careful with my suit, please.
Why, yes, of course.
It went through a lot.
Your uncle is still at the bank, but I think your aunt might be home. Would you fancy...
Auntie Milty?
Yeah, Milty. As in... What is her full name? I've only ever known her as Milty.
Milticent.
Milticent. Okay. So...
AKA Auntie Milty.
Auntie Milty. She might still
It rolls
be...
off the tongue. That's why I chose it.
Yeah, she might still be up, or would you rather just go to bed?
Well,
It's a 4-bedroom house, right? Like, it's not.
well, I believe I should talk to Auntie Milty so she's aware that there is more than just I around.
All right. So Bernard goes to the door, opens it, helps bring this, and then disappears kind of into the back. Kind of, you catch a glimpse and you see it's like a sewing room, and Auntie Milty comes out, arms spread. Bartholomew!
Auntie, I'm so glad to see you. It has been a heck of a journey. How have you been? Before I interrupt myself, you remember Horace, your nephew?
Why, yes, of course. And she pulls him into a big auntly embrace and kisses the top of his head, and then goes to pull Clem in and do the, or not Clem, Bartholomew in and do the
Clem
same.
gladly accepts.
Yeah. Everyone automatically loves Clem.
Now, Auntie, I do have a favor to ask you.
Okay.
You may have noticed a gaggle of strangers behind me. This is Alice, Frank, and Clem.
Thank you for the forehead kiss, ma'am.
They were.
She leans in. Are they your wives?
Yes.
These are some friends I made on the train. We had some events, and to be honest, they had saved my life. And I felt like I owed it to them. None of them are natives to this town, and I thought maybe a one night in a nice place before they have to find their own place would be a good, thank you for all that they did. Isn't that right, Horace?
Horace just kind of nods and agrees, and Auntie Milty folds her hands in front of her in that very prim 1870s way and nods her head and says, well, I don't think we have enough rooms for all of your friends to have their own rooms, but perhaps you and Horace and... What'd you say your friend's name was?
Clem.
Clem. Perhaps you and Clem and Horace can bunk in one room, and you fine ladies can bunk in the other.
Well, ma'am and Bartholomew, I could use a little bit of grub, but I would not be opposed to setting up a bit of a lean-to outside the house of this, this nice domicile, I should say. Pardon my gruff language, ma'am.
Yeah, his affectation does change from time to time. I'll come
All the
together.
Well, I'll have Carlotta make you up something for dinner. I'm sure we have some leftovers, but you're not sleeping outside. What if the neighbors talked?
We can't have that.
Are the neighbors usually mute, ma'am? Ew.
Such a sass mouth.
Excuse my friend here. He has traveled this great land, but it does not sound like he has traveled into gated communities. He's a bit rough around the edges, but his heart is gold.
Okay. Because it would be a mite and seemly, my dear sweet Bartholomew.
Clem
I go over to Clem. I just kind of pull him off to the side. And I go, Clem, have you ever read or heard any stories about prissy rich people who go to bougie dances, have waltzes, that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, this one time when I think I was dead, I did go to
Just let me cut you off real quick. Let me cut you off real quick.
There were a lot of dead.
Let's avoid the D
there were a
word
lot
when
of
you're
dead
talking to other people, please. Just a note. Just a note. Continue.
They're so tight.
So no on the party.
Well, let's just
Not while
That's-
I was alive. Let's say that.
let's just say that's where we are right now.
It was a pre-dead party, if you will. It gives them a wink and a nudge.
Just the type of folks you may have encountered in that situation, the frou-frou kind that would poo-poo on a hot dog or throws half their food into the garbage because they don't want the poor to eat it. That's where we are.
Auntie Milty is like, those poor people. And wanders off to find Carlotta.
Oh, good.
After about 15 minutes, a not strikingly beautiful, but good-looking Hispanic woman, Mexican woman, and
French
It's a French.
No,
I mean, it's a mix,
Spanish
right?
is
Who's
from
backing
Spain.
who? The Trump's in this realm.
This is an actual Spanish Mexican, not a French Mexican.
Okay, this is getting confusing.
So Spain.
The
And
Mediterranean just needs to stay out of Mexico.
Yeah, right?
Well, yes. Actually, if sidebar, if you read the South of the Border book, so what happens is, and this is actually kind of what happened in real life. Spain comes over, sets up Mexico. Mexico is like, F you, we want independence. Spain is like, think again.
Mm-hmm.
And the French comes over and is like, we want this land now. And Cinco de Mayo happens. And then Napoleon III,
I see. They get drunk and then.
yeah, they get drunk and have a lot of tacos. No, on May 5th, they beat the French forces, Santa Anna does. And Napoleon III is like, I've had enough of your nonsense, and sends his cousin, a Duke of like Brussels, and his wife, Maximilian and Carlotta, and they become the Emperor and Empress of Mexico. Yep. Now, in real life, they reigned for a whopping, I want to say it was like 5 years or something like that. And in story lore, it's been 14 years. They're still on the throne.
Ooh, snap.
And so you've got kind of this class struggle where you've got the French Mexicans, which are all, yay, Emperor, go, go, go. And then you've got the Spanish Mexicans who are like, we don't need no stinking emperor.
So Carlotta may not be a big fan of Franck.
Ooh.
Perhaps. We shall see. So Carlotta's, in her mid-30s, has a streak of gray in her dark black hair. And she kind of looks at the party, and she looks like she was dragged out of bed, probably by Bernard, to cook. She's like, it's not a very good meal, but come, it's simple. And she has laid out, it's a simple meal, not extravagant, but definitely not. It's like better than sandwiches, less than pate.
So I'm being from where I'm from, and being highfalutin, I just accepted that this is just how life is, and so I don't even thank her or really acknowledge her all that much, because this is just how day-to-day life works.
Would she be offended if I give her a tip?
Dad, get the fuck out of here.
She'd probably be like, thank you, senora.
I mean, is that like, I don't know, do you tip
Servants?
No.
Okay, then I won't
They're
tip.
basically our slaves. Oh, sorry. They're basically our slaves. I mean, they get a meager paycheck. Actually, I don't even see it though. I'm just like, they get paid to do this work. It's what they do.
They like it.
They like
I feel,
it.
That's what Bartholomew was saying
Right.
about me.
okay, so like, Allie is greedy, but also she is
She's-
a working person.
yeah,
like,
you-
she's a member of the working.
Greedy doesn't necessarily mean,
right?
Mean, yeah.
yeah, and snotty.
Or that you don't recognize, yeah.
I'm gonna give her a small tip.
Okay, it doesn't matter if it's insulting. It's
How much?
That's
if
true.
it's something you would.
I don't. What's a lot? Like
Well,
The most
fancy
expensive bottle of whiskey was
was
$5.
$5. So like, I don't know, a quarter.
Is that
That
good?
seems fair. So she
Right?
takes the quarter and looks at it, and I'm assuming it's a Union quarter, or is it a Confederate quarter?
Union.
Okay, she looks at it.
I feel like Allie would have a collection because she goes everywhere.
She,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, she's got currency for everywhere.
So maybe it's just a dessert quarter.
Well, she's never been. Well,
Oh, that's
she's
fair.
never been there, but that doesn't mean like that coinage doesn't travel out. It would
Exactly.
be a Union coin.
Yeah.
She like looks at it. She's like, yeah. Hands it to her.
So she just takes it and kind of palms it, and then moves on about her day, and you guys can eat your meal and
Her night.
her night. And she comes back maybe half an hour later and says,
I hold on my
The-
empty water glass.
Oh.
she rolls her eyes and is like, fine. Phil's, she doesn't say anything, But she's like, definitely.
I don't
thinking-
notice anything either.
Yeah. You wouldn't, but everybody else would notice the.
But
Obvious.
Horace wouldn't either.
Yeah.
He's from the same upbringing.
The obvious eye rolls and what
Yeah.
have you. So.
We've
feel like
gone numb to
I'm
those.
just a little confused.
Yeah.
Still, like, totally alien to this situation, like, not understanding.
But Clem is usually pretty oblivious anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in general.
Yeah.
Just as a person.
So.
Well, I believe that it's starting to get late. We should probably make our way to our bed chambers.
Aunt Milty gets up and ruffles Horace's hair and gives you a big hug, and she says, "It's so great to have you here," and then toodles off to her own bedchamber.
People tootle a lot today.
There has been a lot of tootling.
Well, it's better than my go-to, See, Auntie
Fucks off.
Milty, yeah, Auntie Milty toodles off. Johnny fucks off. So
You
you
got it.
right.
That's right.
I mean,
I kind of feel bad that you didn't say. Well, Johnny turns around, starts tootling off, and then
So.
angry manner, angrily toodles.
So, Auntie Milty has toodled off. Auntie Milty and Uncle Hammond have two servants, Bernard the valet and Carlotta the house servant, housekeeper, cook, whatever they're called.
Miscellaneous.
multifaceted worker.
Goodness. I don't
Yes.
think they're quite as rich as they pretend to be.
And
Have you been to Junktown?
How many beds are in the room I share with?
You have to
How
share
many
with
people
Horace.
am I even sharing a room? with?
there's two beds in each of the two rooms, so they're small beds.
Okay, well I post up on the floor,
Oh, I mean he is dead.
like Clem would in a.
Well, does Clem,
in this
Clem has a
situation.
bedroll, right?
Yeah. I mean, not that he needs it. He's not even gonna get a stiff back.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does he
So
even-
I picture kind of like a Disney Goof Troop kind of thing where he's got like a little tent, but his head and feet are sticking out of it.
Why is he pitching a tent with that?
I don't want to know about him
It's-
in a tent.
He's
You're
a
like-
creature
you're
of
like-
habit.
Did you hammer like the
stakes into
the stakes
the-
into the
into the
floor?
Very
cobble.
plushy carpet.
It's almost like grass.
Into the stone.
With the party finally reaching Salt Lake City, will Frank finally get to hunt a saltworm? Will Allie's miracle elixir actually produce a miracle cure? Will Bartholomew actually make me RP out a boring corporate job? Find out next time on ODND Presents A Fistful of Dice.